So Typebond recently asked me if I could build a couple of items as giveaways for IWF. That's a big woodworking show that takes place in Atlanta in late August. So I'll be there at the Typebond booth signing some books, but they want to give away a couple of things that I made. So I was trying to come up with an idea, something that would be relevant to Typebond with their glues, but also something that would be fun and interesting for people to receive as giveaway items. So this is what I came up with. It's basically a glue caddy. So let's load this thing up. Now the actual hole pattern here is going to be dictated by what you have on hand, so feel free to change that up. These are just some of the things that I use frequently, so I thought I would include those. Got room for glue brushes here. Now, I know this is not the absolute sort of end-all be-all kind of design. I was really pressed for time when I was building these, so there are things you could certainly do to improve it, and I would love to hear what you guys do and what changes you suggest. In the meantime, though, let me show you how I built this. You could use that as a starting point if you want to make one of these for your own shop.
I think my favorite part about this project is that the material came from my neighbor's recent flooring project. He went all out with walnut and Brazilian cherry and was nice enough to give me the leftovers, so it's perfect for small projects like this. By the time I get the pieces perfectly flat and remove the ridges, they're about 5/8 of an inch thick. To make the sides, I'll have to glue 3 pieces together. The walnut planks are a bit wider, so I'll glue 2 of those together to make the middles. For the bottoms, I'm laminating 2 layers of stock for a couple of reasons. First, I think it looks cool, and second, because some of the flooring was warped, and by the time the pieces were jointed and planed, they were too thin for this project. So gluing these together prevents them from hitting the waste pile. I'm making 3 glue caddies, so I'll put them all together between 2 pieces of plywood and clamp the crap out of them. Now all the parts can be trimmed to final width and length. This project is all about the glue, so no fasteners here. Instead, we'll use sliding dovetails. Before cutting the dovetail slots in the sides, I'll remove some excess stock at the table saw. This should help reduce the stress on the router bit. Without moving the height of the bit, I can move the fence forward and bury the bit to make the male side of the dovetails. I like to take light passes and sneak up on the perfect fit. The pieces should slide together fairly easily, otherwise they'll be way too tight after adding glue. Here's a pretty cool trick. If you leave your pieces just a little bit wider than the plans call for, you can give both edges a little trim after the dovetails and that'll remove any tear out. I'll use a piece of 1/4 inch scrap to make a hole template. If you're only making one of these, you'll want to do this process on your actual workpiece instead. If you have the perfect sized hole saw, you can quickly drill the holes. In my case, this is just removing the bulk. To get the exact hole size, I'll use a circle template and a router outfitted with a shallow pattern bit. The bit simply follows the pattern and creates the perfect hole. Now, instead of adding a 6th hole, I'll make a series of smaller holes for glue brushes. Now my template is ready to make the hole pattern in my workpieces. I think this is the point where those of you with CNCs are laughing your butts off. Shut up. My hole saw is not only the wrong size, but also a little bit dull, so I'll use a big Forstner bit to hog out the bulk. I'll then attach the template with some blue tape and CA glue for a secure but non-permanent connection. Using another shallow pattern bit, I'll route the holes in 2 stages. Now I can transfer the small hole locations and head to the drill press to make the glue brush holes. To help stabilize the bottles, I'll route the same hole pattern on the bottoms, only the holes are just shallow recesses. And while I'm not too fond of the dimple left by a Forstner bit, I also drill shallow holes to stabilize the brushes. To make the sides look a little nicer, I'll round them off and add a hole as a handhold.
I'm sure at this point many of you are thinking, why is he putting so much effort into a glue caddy? But I think this is a really good example of why we do what we do. Is building furniture out of wood these days really a necessity, right? I don't do things just because it's necessary. I do them because I want to make stuff that's fun and beautiful and interesting to interact with. So if I'm making a glue caddy, it may as well be the best glue caddy that I can make. So when people ask you why you spend so much time and effort building beautiful things, you could simply say, because I can.
Once I have one side done, I can use that as a template for the rest. All the parts then receive a nice little round over. Assembly is pretty straightforward. I'm using Type-On 3 here because it gives me a little bit more open time to get these joints just right. For the finish, I'll apply an oil varnish blend. I wipe it on, let it soak in, and then wipe off the excess.
Now 2 to 3 coats should do the trick. Once that last coat is dry, you want to come back and give it a little bit of an extra buffing. Now the surface should be pretty smooth to begin with, but we can get it glass smooth by using one of these 2000 grit abrasive pads. This one is from Festool. It's their Platine line of abrasives. You just kind of lightly buff the surface, knocks down any of those little dust nibs, and it does create a little bit of dust on the surface, so a damp paper towel is all you need to just kind of clean it off and get it ready to go. And that just feels glass smooth. Now just remember, when you're not using the caddy for glue, you can always use it to hold 5 of your favorite beverages. And where's the 6th one? Well, it should be in your hand, because you're probably drinking it. All right, thanks for watching, everybody. I hope you build along. And hey, if you go to IWF, stop by the Type-On booth and we could talk for a little bit. I should be there pretty much the entire time. Thanks for watching.